Hello, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I'm working on my next book review, I promise, but it's taking a little longer than I hoped, maybe even longer than my last video, so stay tuned for that, but in the meantime, enjoy this video. Today I'll be talking about movies that made me cry, as you can tell by the title slide and the title of this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, by the way, spoilers for all these movies. I'll list them in the description, but I will be spoiling what happens in some of these, so be warned. First, we have Inside Out. This was the first movie to ever make me cry. I cried while watching it for the first time in the theater when I was a kid, and then years later, I watched it again, and I cried again. Um, I cried twice actually, both times during this movie. First, when Bing Bong dies, and the second when Riley comes back home. Um, I don't know. Even as a kid, this movie still got to me, and when I came back to it and understood it and related to it on a deeper level when I was older, it got me again. But yeah, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, but I can't watch it very often because uh, it gets to me. I have a special shout out for Inside Out too, because although I didn't cry, the whole anxiety attack scene did get me on the verge of tears. It almost got me there, but I didn't actually cry in that. Still a good movie though. I liked it. All right, next up we have Dear Evan Hansen. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, the movie's so bad." Yeah, Ben Platt looks so old. The musical is better, and I haven't seen the musical, but it probably is better. But this, if you know anything about the subject material and all this, it's really personal to me and it got to me. And I remember I cried during, I started really feeling it during the So Big, So Small song. And then once the movie was over, I went back and sobbed my eyes out after watching this movie. So yeah, this is definitely the one that made me cry the hardest. I plan to watch like a slime tutorial or something of the actual plays eventually, but the fact that the movie made me cry this much, I'm a little hesitant to come back to it again. I need to be in the right headspace if I'm ever going to, but yeah. Next we have Train to Busan. Yeah. I watched it a bit on a whim because it was free on YouTube and I heard a lot of good things about it. Some of the I knew what was going to happen. I knew who died and everything, but still I cried at the very end when the dad died and the daughter was singing. Oh my goodness. Tears flowing, I tell you. Um Anyone who knows what happens in this movie can see why. Grave of the Fireflies, one of my favorite Ghibli movies actually, despite how just tragic and miserable it is, but I love sibling dynamics and that made it all hit so much harder when Setsuko died. I mean, they both, but when Setsuko died, that's when I cried. Really recommend this, but be prepared because it's devastating. Another movie musical that people like to trash on, but I don't really care. I cried watching this too at the end when um Valjean's dying and Fantine comes back. Someone's gonna clown me for my pronunciations, but I think they're not that bad. Anyway, yeah, I cried at the ending of this movie. I love this movie. I don't care. Yeah, maybe they're not the most trained singers, a lot of them, but they brought the emotion, and that's all I can really ask for. And finally, we have the Shawshank Redemption. This is the one movie. Okay, I cried at a very specific part, and that's when Brooks hangs himself. Um, I think it's the one time I cried out of just distress rather than sadness. Yeah, it was totally unexpected. My university was putting it on for a movie night. I went with some friends because one of my friends said it was a really good movie, and she said a lot of bad things happened in it, like in the prison, and I was like, yeah, I expected that. But that scene, again, maybe it was the headspace I was in that day or something, but it just got me. All my friends got so concerned, but it was a good movie. A really good movie, but hard to watch at some points. Here are some special mentions of other movies that almost made me cry, but I didn't really cry. That's such a blurry picture. Oh my goodness. Wreck-It Ralph. The scene where he smashes her car. Or wrecks it, I guess. Yeah, when she's like screaming and all that and crying. Ouch, ouch. I felt that. And it almost made me cry. Toy Story 2. Specifically, when I rewatched this when I was older, the When She Loved Me scene. It's funny because when I was younger, I was like, why would she ever get rid of her toys and for nail polish and makeup and stuff? But now that I'm older, I, now I see it and it just hits different now, you know? We have Moana. This one was not tears of sadness either. It's just the during the I Am Moana scene, just that overwhelming yes feeling that I got from that almost brought a tear to my eye, I will say. I love this movie still. I say it's one of my favorite recent Disney movies, but it's not even recent anymore, so how can I even say that? But I love Moana. And now I have a special mention for How to Train Your Dragon 2. I didn't cry when I watched this, but I purposely avoid rewatching this because I know I most likely will cry if I rewatch this. I want to rewatch it so bad because I only saw it the one time when I first watched it, but I just can't. I need to work up the courage to see it again because it might be too much. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. Please let me know in the comments down below what movies made you cry. And I realize I never say these in my videos, but please, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!